Hey, how's it going, everyone? My name is Scott Engler. I am a published author on contemporary career transition strategies and a thought leader on LinkedIn and how to optimize it for getting that next position and being sought out for it. So today is actually the last of a three-part series. So if you are just tuning in for the first time, you could watch the first two on my YouTube channel. Week one was where I went over the 6 things that LinkedIn considers to optimize your profile or at 100%. And then last week was on really how to effectively brand yourself specifically on LinkedIn. And today is the third thing. And it's basically what I found is having an optimized profile and branding, which is what I covered in the first two, are like if you were taking a class and you had the midterm, final, and quizzes. The first two, the branding and the profile optimization, are like your midterm and your final. They're worth more of the grade if any of you went to school and had that system at your school. This is probably more like the quiz, so it's not as important, but it can be. And so what I'm going to talk about today is a few simple mistakes that most job seekers make from being contacted by the right recruiters on LinkedIn. Now, what I call this area is actually contactability, and that is how effectively are you, or how easy should I say, are you making it for people to contact you about that next position? And what most people, most job seekers whose profiles I look at all the time, every week, don't do is they usually don't put a good contact method to be reached at. And some of these smaller things that people may not think about actually make a huge difference, and I'll tell you why. So the first mistake is that people don't put their contact information in their actual profile summary box. They might put it when they're filling out their profile. Many don't even do that. They might put an email address. A lot of times it's not even one they use often. And here's why that's challenging. Because the truth is that if it's not a recruiter looking at you, first of all, most people don't even know where to look on someone's homepage for the automatically added contact information. And if you could see a screen, you'd understand more what I'm talking about right now. Unfortunately, on a podcast, you can't. But I always recommend that people put their preferred method of contact inside their profile summary box. Now, if you don't know what your profile summary is, you should definitely learn, because it's the #1 area that recruiters will look at in your profile. And that's where you should put your preferred method of contact. Now, here's something that I've noticed in talking to both successful job seekers from LinkedIn, working with them, and also working and talking with recruiters, is putting your phone number in there. So here's why that's so important. And this is where, it kind of goes to the specifics of what you're wanting and why it's important in this aspect. Now, I wouldn't recommend for other people to necessarily put their phone number in if you're like a regular business professional not looking to attract recruiters or new job. May not be necessary. For job seekers, here's why successful job seekers on LinkedIn often will have their phone number on there, is because if you understood that a recruiter gets 200 applications roughly in the first 200 seconds of a job posting, you picture yourself in their shoes, and they're looking over a bunch of profiles, skimming them very, very quickly. And if they see something they like, what do you think makes more efficient sense for them to do? To close down LinkedIn and go on a separate tab and send an email and say, hey, let's set an appointment for so-and-so time. No, they really don't have the time to do that with every single person. What a lot of recruiters will do is they will just call the number and see if they can get in touch with that job seeker right then and there, because that is a lot more efficient and effective on their behalf, because remember, recruiters are on a very strict timeline to get candidates filled, and they also have a ton of things to sift through. So I know a lot of recruiters that will be more likely to call the job candidate if they're seeing their profile and they're interested and they want to ask a few questions, maybe to set up a screening for the candidate with someone in HR. And I've also heard the same from job seekers on LinkedIn when they have their phone number as a contact information to be reached out to, that they will get a lot of calls. Now, of course, if you don't want to get calls about a job, then you probably shouldn't put that on there, but it might not be a bad decision, because you could always weigh through voicemails if you want. I'd recommend if you're interested in getting a job, don't sabotage yourself and put your number on there. Now, a lot of times people will ask me, well, what if I get contacted and solicited, by other people on LinkedIn? Well, here's the thing. First of all, it's your responsibility to be discerning on who you add as as connections on LinkedIn. I know that sometimes people might look at your profile if they could see that before adding you, but the truth of the matter is I haven't heard any job seekers that have put their number in there complain about that. So I wouldn't stress out. I would think about like the bigger picture, and what's more important is you want to be contacted by recruiters, and you don't want to get necessarily skipped over by someone that's like, I don't really have the time to email them, so I'm not going to follow up. The other component that a lot of people don't consider is who should be contacting you. Now, this kind of coincides with branding as well. And what I've noticed 99% of job seekers do not do is they do not qualify what types of organizations and opportunities they're looking for and what they should be reached out for. So here's the thing. I'm sure 99% of you are thinking like, yeah, but it's so obvious from my profile and my current job. Here's the truth. It's likely very not obvious for many reasons. Most people have had a lot of different positions throughout their career. Most people don't use congruent keywords throughout their profile. So my recommendation here as a general rule would be assume that they don't know. Assume they don't know that exactly what you want to be contacted in. Assume that it's possible that that you haven't clearly explained that. So re-emphasize it. Even if you feel like you have explained it, I always recommend re-emphasize it, right? There's that call to action. So if you were looking for, let's just say you were looking for to work for a startup, and you wanted to work for a startup in the health and wellness industry. So, you could say any companies that are, really growing as a startup and looking for a COO to help them take charge and whatever you could say, please contact me at your number. Do you see how much more effective that is? And hopefully you've done a great job in your profile summary up until that contact information point where you've explained what you're passionate about, what you've done in your career, what kind of culture, organization, role you're looking for. So when you say that at the end of the contact, they get it. And again, it's the same thing. If I'm, let's just say, for the sake of what usually happens, if you were typically on an online dating site, right? Let's say it's male-female dynamics. The female is typically the one that is contacted by the male, right? So if the girl just said on her profile, I'm looking to date, I just got out of a 2-year relationship, and I'm just looking to go on some dates, and I like hiking and swimming and please message me if, you'd like to talk more. That's great. She's probably going to get a ton of different inquiries, messages, this, that, and the other about going on a date. Now, consider a woman that has been, that's more clear. If she says, I am looking for something serious, I really like, let's just say for instance, she's like extremely particular, just to emphasize the point. I love musicians. I'm looking to date a musician. I like guys that are 6 feet and over, or I really just like dating guys that are very creative and singer-songwriter types. Those are my kind of guys. Looking for brunette-haired man, a guy that doesn't have any kids and is really into music and stuff like that. So please, singer-songwriters that are tall, dark, and handsome, message me. Now, again, I'm just using an extreme example to emphasize a point here, but you see how much more clear that woman is being about who should be contacting her? She's really painting a good picture about the kind of person that she wants to reach out for her. So in the same way, I highly recommend using and transferring over this same principle on your profile. What type of culture or organization are you looking to get involved with? Are you a consultant? That's fine. You could apply. I work with small business owners and consultants all the time on their profile. So the same thing applies. Who's your target demographic? Who should be reaching out to you? If you go and look at my profile, I'm really clear about the types of people that I'm looking to reach out to me to work with me. It's C-level executives, upper management, small business owners, particularly highly successful and motivated women in the sector of business when it comes to career transition. Male or female, either way, but male or female C-level executives is who I work with primarily for career transition. So I'm very clear about who I work with and who should be reaching out to me. And then I give them a way to reach out to me. So you could do the same thing if you're a consultant, what type of demographic you're working with and whatnot. And just really make that clear, because some of those things that we may not think necessarily are as important are really important. It's like maybe we've done everything excellent on our branding and how our visibility is, but we're missing that last final piece about okay, who should be reaching out to me and why should they do it and how should they do it? And so, the proof is in the pudding. So my challenges to you is, if you're not getting, a lot of great opportunities, or you think anything I've shared could help enhance the amount of people reaching out to you and the right types of people, even more importantly, right? So you can be more effective and efficient with your time. These are my recommendations. Again, you could check out the first two of this series on my YouTube channel. And if you are looking to really get peak results in this, I've been helping thousands of people now for close to 6 years in this exact thing. I got myself a job on LinkedIn. After grad school, I've now helped thousands of people to be successful in using LinkedIn to find jobs. And so if you're looking to work with someone that has literally spent that much time in one special area to help your demographic, then send me a message on LinkedIn with the headline "Serious Inquiry," and then let me know, and we could set up a time to go over my LinkedIn profile optimization branding level 1 networking package that I'm offering in the month of September. Otherwise, I'm so happy to have people follow me on LinkedIn. And by following me, you get updates on my content, articles, all sorts of things. So I'm happy to have you to do that. I'm going to put my LinkedIn URL below this in the box. And you can follow me, and the follow button should be when you click on my LinkedIn profile. So that's a way to just get content if you'd like what you heard today and you want to get more of it. So best of luck to all you guys, and have a great week.